guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to be showing you this entire look using some of my Shopped My Stash products that I did in my last video. So this is like my go-to look that I'll be doing for the month of February. That was kind of the intention of this video. So if you want to see how I got this look, then just keep watching. Alright guys, so we are going to be picking some items from my Shop My Stash that I recently did on my channel. And basically what I'm going to be showing you is what like my go-to look would be with the stuff I picked. I did pick like a few different options. For example, I picked 2 palettes, a couple different foundations. So obviously I'm not going to be able to show you every single item in this video, but I'm just going to be showing you like my go-to. So if you missed my original Shop My Stash, I will throw it up in the cards and link it in the description box so you can go check that out so you can see everything that I picked. And basically we are just going to jump right into it, and we are going to start with the base because I have absolutely nothing on. So for base product, I did pick my Marc Jacobs primer. I know you guys have been seeing this quite a bit on my channel, but I'm really just trying to get through it at this point. So I'm just going to use that all over, and I use this one mainly for like moisturization, and then I use another one for like pore filling. So the pore filling primer that I picked was the Maybelline Baby Skin. I've had this for quite some time, so I do want to just try to use it up. I'm almost done with it, so might as well just try to get through it at this point. It has that very like silicone-y feel, so you know, it's perfect for the pore filling job. I haven't used this in so long, so I don't really know how I feel about it, but honestly, ever since I got the Tarte Silk Canvas Primer, no other primer really compares. So, you know, I kind of just want to get through this so I can just use my Tarte primer. I'm at a point where I just want to use products that I know I actually enjoy. Not that I don't like these products. Like for example, the Marc Jacobs one is very nice and I like it for moisturization. I definitely would consider purchasing this just for that point. But as far as like pore filling and all that smoothing primers go, I really love my Tarte one. So at this point I'm just kind of like, why bother with other primers when I don't like them nearly as much as I do the Tarte one. So I'm trying to use up other products in my collection so that I can just focus on using the things I do really enjoy. So anyway, I'm going to take my concealer, which I have the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind, another one you guys have seen quite a bit on my channel. I'm almost done with it, so I'm just trying to use it up. I did not take this concealer up onto the lid like I normally would because I do have the NARS Soft Matte Concealer, which if I'm remembering correctly, I haven't used this in so long, I really don't like this for a normal concealer. So I decided to try to use, you know, just try to get through some of it. I would use it maybe as like an eye primer. I do have another eye primer, but I kind of just want to use this one to see what I can do with it and see how it performs. I think the reason I probably don't like this is because it's soft matte, and I'm learning that I don't really like matte based products on my skin. I just feel like it usually makes my skin look kind of cakey. So we will see how this works on the lid. So I guess that's not like the worst thing ever. It's not as bad as I remember it being. I haven't used this in a long time. I honestly forgot I even had it. So that's why I wanted to pull it out and try to use some of it up. I mean, it's not like my favorite thing in the world, but it's not as bad as I remember it being. So for an eye primer, I think this might actually kind of do the trick. So far, so good. Next, we will move into foundation. Now, I will say I did pick 3 different foundation products. I picked my YSL All-in-One Glow, the NARS Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizer, and the Tarte Rainforest of the Sea. So I did pick this one out because I do love it, but I decided that I'm only going to use this for the month of February for like special occasions. So like if I'm going out and I really just want to use this, I will use it. But for the most part, I'm going to be focusing on these 2 because I just want to get them finished up since they are so close. So I'm going to take both of these mixed and I'm going to go in with that on my face. And I'm going to be using the technique I've been liking lately, and I'm going to use my foundation brush sprayed with my Smashbox primer water and just blend that out. I've really been liking doing that. I mean, for some reason adding a little spritz of water on it just gives you that extra glow. So I've really been enjoying it, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so the foundation is pretty much all blended out. Obviously, you can still see some problem areas. I'm dealing with some breakouts again. That's my life. So there's nothing I can really do about that. I don't want to cake on the product too much. I do have some dryness around my nose that's been worse than normal, and that is kind of getting a little bit cakey and pretty noticeable, so I don't want to go any heavier with the foundation. I don't know if you guys are going to be able to see that too well. Okay, so it's so funny how, you know, at a certain point you really love like a certain foundation or a certain foundation combination and you think that it's like the best thing ever, and then you try something else and you kind of learn that it's not your favorite anymore. And these two products together used to be like my holy grail, and now looking at my skin, I just don't think that they look as good as it used to now that I've seen what this looks like on my skin. Now I do enjoy this paired with this just for a little bit more coverage, but I really just like this on its own. Not saying that this looks bad, it's just not as, I don't love it as much as I love this. So it's funny how as you try different things you kind of replace certain holy grail products. So anyway, I'm going to go in with my setting powder, and I have the CoverFX Perfect Setting Powder here, and I'm just going to lightly dust that all over the skin. So, update on this concealer that I put on my lid. It has literally only been on the lid for a few minutes and I didn't set it down, and already it's starting to just kind of look dry on my lid. I mean, it's not like, it's doable, like I can handle it for the month, but I definitely remember why I don't really like this. So I do need to set that down really quick. So I'm going to take my Real Technique setting brush, and I will take this light shade from the Kathleenlights and Morphe palette. I know this palette is no longer available, but for those of you that do have it, maybe if you picked it up in the past, I did want to kind of showcase it on my channel. And it's not like you need this exact palette to create the look I'm going to create. I mean, these are not groundbreaking colors that don't exist in other palettes, so you can definitely recreate it with other colors you have. So it's not, you know, it's not a total waste of a tutorial. So that shadow did set down the concealer pretty nicely. Again, the concealer is just not my favorite, honestly. I think even when I first got it, I only used it a couple times because I truly just didn't like it that much. But anyway, let's go back to the base, and we're going to take bronzer. I'm taking my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. I did pick another bronzer, but honestly the main bronzer that I want to use is the Physicians Formula. I picked the other bronzer more for like adding a little bit more depth rather than just a general bronze, but since this is like my go-to look using these products, I'm just doing a general bronze. I really do like this bronzer. It adds just like a nice glow, and it smells really good. It just has that like Hawaiian tropical smell to it, so I really do like that. So now we'll move on to highlight, and I took out the Fenty highlight. This is the Kilawatt in Lightning Dust and Fire Crystal. My favorite thing to do with this is just mix the two together and highlight with it. I absolutely love this highlight. I had purchased some highlights before I got this one, you know, years back, and they just didn't show up as well on my skin. So I was kind of just getting over the whole highlight thing, thinking that it just was never going to really show up on me until I got this one. This one is what kind of got me back into highlights, and it does show up on the skin, so I really do like this. I'm just going to take that on this style of brush, and we're just going to mix the two like I said and highlight. As you guys can see, that shows up very, very nicely. So now that I have kind of like my base complete, I'm just going to go ahead and spray it with some setting spray just intermittently. I know I haven't done my eyes, but sometimes if I feel like my face feels a little heavy, I like to just go ahead and spray it down after I finish the base makeup and then move on to the eyes. This is the Kat Von D Lock-It setting spray. Alright, so now we are ready to move on to the eyes. I'm going to zoom you up a little bit. I'm not going to go as close as I have been going because I noticed myself getting out of frame, so I need to practice with that, but I don't want to mess up another video with that, so I'm just going to zoom you guys in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing, and we will get into it. Alright, so that is pretty close, but I can at least stay in frame for this, at least I should. So I'm going to be taking the Morphe and Kathleenlights palette. I did pick the Alien palette, but since I already have like a everyday neutral kind of look on my channel using this palette, I'll link it in the description box. I kind of wanted to just make this one my go-to, especially for this video, and I really haven't gotten a lot of use out of this since I've owned it, so I want to go ahead and dip into it. So we already set down the lid area with this shade, which I have no idea what the shade names are. That's kind of a bummer about this palette. I imagine it probably came with like a plastic covering that had the shade names on it, but I don't have that anymore, or the box, and there's nothing on the back, so it is kind of plain. So we are going to go ahead and stick with like the brown golds in this palette. So the first shade I do want to go in with is, I guess we'll go in with this shade since it is like the lightest kind of transition shade in the palette. Taking that on a fluffy brush, and we're just going to throw that into the crease. I'm not going for anything too dramatic with this look since this is like my everyday go-to look. Okay, so now we're going to take like this deeper kind of like mustardy shade and just lightly add that to the crease as well. And I'm going to take that on like a flatter crease brush and just add that into the immediate crease area. You don't have to worry about being too precise in this step because we're just going to go over the lid with one of the shimmery shades anyway, so just added that into the crease, and we can go back in with that original crease brush with no more product and just kind of blend. Alright, and now we are going to go ahead and take, I really like this shade, so I want to put this all over the lid. And I think I'll go in with my finger first since that's usually what I like to do, and see how that looks. I'm actually pretty impressed with how this looks in person, this shimmer shade specifically. Normally I'm not like blown away by Morphe's shimmer formula, but this one actually looks pretty nice, so overall I'm actually pretty pleased with this palette so far. It's blending and working nicely, so no complaints. So I'm going to go back in with this brush and back in with that like mustardy shade and just kind of put that throughout the crease. I think these shadows are working really nicely and blending really easily. I'm really happy that I decided to pick this palette up for this month. I have not used it in ages. In fact, I almost sold it on my Poshmark, and I took the listing down because I wanted to just give it another chance, especially since I can't get this again. So like with certain palettes, if I sell them and later on I regret that I did, at least I can always go back and buy them. But with this one, that is not an option. So I wanted to just give this one last effort before selling, and I'm really glad I did because so far I am enjoying the shades. So basically for the outer corner, I'm just going to take this like deeper brown shade and just kind of deepen it up a little bit. Then move on to the lower lash line, and that'll be it for the eyeshadow. Very, very simple. I realize this shade almost has maybe some kind of like reddish undertones, so I think I'm going to just try to blend out with that like mustardy shade to kind of take away from that redness. I guess for the sake of consistency, I'll do the same thing on the other eye. It's not exactly what I was wanting, so that's why I'm not doing too much of it, and I ended up going back over it like with that mustard shade. So, but I'm just doing this for like consistency purposes. so that they look the same. I mean, it's not like the worst thing ever, it's just not exactly what I was going for. Then what I want to do is, I haven't done this in a little while, is take this like angled brush and take my translucent powder and clean up the edges. I was doing this before and then I just stopped doing it. I don't really know why, but I did like the result. So now we will move on to the lower lash line, and I'm just gonna I'm gonna show you exactly what I'm gonna do, nothing too crazy. I'm just gonna take this shade that we used first and this shade and just put that on the lower lash line. Very, very simple. I'm gonna do them one at a time though. Alright, that is pretty much it for the shadows. I know it's not like the best look ever, but I do think it's decent, and once we add liner and mascara, it always comes together. So actually, I realized I forgot the highlight. So I'm just going to take the really only highlight shade in this palette, and I'm going to take this one for the inner corner and the brow bone. Now we can move on to liner and mascara. I'm using my CoverGirl Katy Perry liner. Really been enjoying this. I think it is very comparable to high-end liner, so I'm happy with the $2 I spent on it. Now we can add mascara. So I did pick out the Urban Decay Perversion mascara, which if you've seen when I first tested this out many videos ago, I did not like it at all. And I also picked the L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Paradise, which I love. I decided to pick both of these because I thought maybe I could layer them. And yesterday I did layer them, and it wasn't like the worst thing. So I think I'm going to continue to do that just so I can get through this. And it'll probably help me save a little bit of this because I know I'm running low. I just really don't like this. I feel like it really doesn't do much for the lashes at all. You will see because I'm going to put it on first and then go over it with this one. I just really don't like it, so I'm just trying to use it up. I'm really happy I got this like in a holiday kit and didn't just buy this like on its own, because I would have been pretty upset about it. I mean, I could have just returned it, but in the holiday kit it was not really worth returning because I wanted the other stuff in the holiday kit. Okay, so this is what the mascara looks like by itself. As you guys see, it's just nothing, it's nothing that is worth the price tag on this, in my opinion. I mean, it definitely adds a little bit of something, but like, not much at all. I mean, this is a fraction of the price and does way more, so I don't know, I'm just really not a fan of this. So I'm going to go ahead and do a second coat with my Voluminous Lash Paradise. I mean, now look at how much more this one added. I should have shown you like the side by side, but I didn't want the Perversion to dry too much before putting this on. I mean, look at the volume, and just it looks so much better than the Urban Decay one. I don't know, I'm definitely going to repurchase this. I think I'm almost pretty much there. It is starting to get a little dry like around the edge, and it feels a little drier than when I first got it, so I do think it's time to invest in another one, but hopefully I can at least get through the month with this. If not, I'll buy a replacement and put it with my Shop My Stash since it's the same product. So anyway guys, this is the eye look. I know it's not like the best thing ever, but I'm actually pretty happy with how it turned out. This is definitely something I would wear like to work or just, you know, every day. This is like my go-to look, and if I wasn't filming it on camera, it wouldn't take me very long to do at all. I'm just trying to show you guys the step-by-step, but obviously when I do my makeup by myself, not in front of a camera, I'm not explaining it to anyone. So I'll just show you guys the eye look one more time and we'll move on to the lip. I think I'm going to go in with Maybeline Baddest Beige. It's a very like nice nude color, and it's very comfortable on the lips. Alright, with the gloss it doesn't look so bad. I use the Kathleenlights Colourpop Etoile gloss. Alright guys, so that is the finished look using my Shop My Stash products. I did use quite a bit of the products I picked. There was really only a few that I didn't really use, sorry. So I'm overall really happy with this. I'm glad I decided to give the Morphe and Kathleenlights palette another chance. So I'm excited to see maybe what I can do with it, maybe in a more like colorful stance, even though I know there's really only like one pop of color, but who knows, maybe I could do something with that, or even like this mauve type shade. So I'm excited to play more with this and the Alien palette, since that was the other palette I picked. So I really hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, please give the video a thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below letting me know if you have any of these products and what you think of them. And if you want to see any other looks using the Kathleenlights palette or the Alien palette, I will definitely do it. I am planning to do another Alien palette look, but more of a fun look on my channel. But if you have any requests, please let me know down below. I would also appreciate if you guys subscribe so you don't miss any other videos, and I really appreciate the support. So that is it for today's video. I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!